And away we go. It is the aftermath. Coming at you live from the Cincinnati Light Studios, presented as always by Galactic Fried Chicken. Galactic Fried Chicken can be found right over the river in Dayton, Kentucky. They have what many believe is the best fried chicken in the city. But they have Chad's favorites, the Dunkers. They've got your chicken strips. They got chicken sandwich. They've got deviled eggs. They've got fries, which is just another avenue to more of the delicious galactic sauce. But get yourself some galactic fried chicken. Again, they're like, I don't know, 5 minutes from downtown once you cross the river. Again, right over in Dayton, Kentucky. Try out that galactic sauce, though. It is out of this world. Chad's not in, so we got Keegan filling in the chair for the big fella, but Cincinnati wins in the rematch against UCF, 92-72. And good to see on Super Bowl Sunday the good guys take one home. You had double digits by every starter today. You had Baba Miller score his 1,000th point as a collegiate player. And you had contributions from literally everybody who stepped on the floor for the Cincinnati Bearcats today. But Keegan, you were there, boots on the ground. You got to sit through the presser. Cincinnati decided to play the make shots offense today, which we have not seen in quite some time. What did you see today, man?
Yeah, first time since 2022 when they beat Miami that they made 60% or more from three. And then first time since the BYU game at home last season that they made 50% of both their three-point shots and field goals. So it's been a long time since you've seen the offense be that efficient. What I saw, and I mentioned this and what to watch for, I was really wondering what kind of effort and intensity level we'd get, especially following Thursday, because it's just such a take the wind out of the sails, heartbreaking loss where everything sucks and everyone kind of realized that it was over basically, and there wasn't much to play for besides showing up for the fans, showing up for your teammates, and showing up for your coaching staff. And they played really, really hard. And I think one of the more important things was when you see all the gaffes in the first half, you go up in your shooting motion and the ball flies out of your hands and you're fumbling balls passed directly to you in the post. A lot of times you've seen not great responses for those kind of plays. And then today they just kept on battling. And I think when they tied it at 26, they went on a 14-2 run in the first half. When UCF cuts a 20-point lead to 6 in the second half, UC then goes on a 15-2 run. So the ability to respond to adversity and kind of manage that, which you haven't seen all season, it showed up a lot today, and it leads to a 90-point win, 20-point win. They scored 92. Which is the first time they've scored 90 against a high major opponent since, I believe, last year's Big 12 tournament against West Virginia or against UCF late regular season.
First time this season since NJIT, so
yeah,
for whatever that's worth. I don't know how many people heard any of the commentary today. I understand that CBS Sports was, I guess, muted audio for what I'm understanding was the entirety of the game. I had zero issue on the app for whatever that's worth, but I don't know what was going on with the actual channel. But you alluded to it. 61.1% from three, 11 of 18. So you hit double-digit threes in this one. 58.9% from the field, 33 of 56. 71.4%, which is still up from their 66% average on the season. From the line, 15 of 21. They scored 1.394 points per possession, which that's excellent. 11 turnovers, not great, not terrible. UCF only had 8. You did out rebound them, which there was that one possession that I think UCF had, I don't know, 6 offensive rebounds or something before they finally scored, which was insane. But you win that 37-31. I don't know. It just Jizzle looked like he was in a groove today, which he was stepping into his shot. Everything looked good coming off his hands. Day a little bit better, but still not as much aggression as I would like to see out of him at times. But he gave up a lot of minutes to Keyshawn Tillery, who I thought played pretty well when he was out there on the floor today. They were without both McKinley and Kirk Risa, who both they were able to go. They just weren't 100%, so you didn't need them, and you were able to get away with it. But I don't. I mean, you needed this one. You brought up the point that you lose a heartbreaking loss to West Virginia, the second loss to West Virginia. You've pretty much been eliminated from at large, but the team's still fighting, and that's what Wes has continued to say in his apology tour after the West Virginia game, and you saw it today.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think one of the biggest stats that can kind of show fighting is Themis Falks only having or not scoring in 25 minutes. And Wes kind of referenced it in the post game that he's what makes their offense go. I think he averages, is it 8 assists, 5 assists a game? It's one of those two, and 13 points. So like their offense really starts with him. And Riley Kugel had a decent game, but what they've done against opposing teams' best scorers is something to be thought of. And it's why they had such a big lead on West Virginia before Honor Huff went on that crazy run, because he was either scoreless or had 2 points in the first half and then exploded in the second half. And then Kingston Flemings only had 7 points at Houston. And you think that kind of slowing down someone like that should give you a shot, but Houston's a completely different animal. So I was worried about what Kugel would do, what Jordan Burks would do, but Wes identified Falks as that nucleus to, like, it's not just a scoring thing with him. If you can kind of prevent him from facilitating, because he averages eight assists a game, that's going to have a huge impact. And they really slowed him down. I think when I think of just the biggest plays in the second half, when they cut it to 6 and then UC responds with the 2 and then Jizzle hits that 3, I think that was huge to push the lead right back to double digits. And then Jalen Celestine getting that and 1, I think on the next possession, was also big. So those are just the plays that you haven't seen because it's always spiraled. And to see just how they showed up after Thursday was refreshing. There was still the really, really weird plays, and it's like, okay, this team is still a far ways away from actually being a good basketball team, because there's mistakes that they make that good teams that you just don't make. There's decisions that they make in terms of shot selection that you just don't happen on good basketball teams. But they were able to get it done, and I think UCF played really, really bad, and UC played really, really good. So credit to the Bearcats for getting it done.
Yeah, Fulks averaged 7 assists per game coming into this one. That's where he was at. But you mentioned the shot selection and at times the poor shot selection by Cincinnati. Even those shots were falling today, as I'll mention 3 shots that I hate. You had Baba Miller making 1 of 2 threes today. You had Buck Harris making his lone 3 today. That's 3 that are at this point in the season ill-advised, but they fall today in a game that everything fell. Chom with 2 threes as well, which okay. Also probably ill-advised. You're back on mute again, bud. I don't know. But yeah, that's ended up being 3 of 5 with those 5 shots. So you take the good with the bad.
Yeah, I think the most frustrating one for me was when UCF starts pressing late with like 2 minutes left and Sham gets it like 10 feet away from the hoop on the baseline and just puts up a little jumper and misses, gives the ball right back to UCF. Like that's a perfect spot to take time off the clock or throw a lob to Baba, who was coming down the court. And then me and Chad were kind of looking at each other and debating it about their decisions to shoot floaters or just pass it out like a grenade instead of just attacking the hoop. Because you feel like guys like Day and Jizzle should be attacking the hoop, but then they'll just get into the lane and throw up a floater. And they made a couple of them, but it's just like the tendencies aren't there. The tendencies to choose the good shot aren't there. And you've seen it really, really hurt them all year. And I guess you could say they got lucky because when you make bad shots, there's probably a little bit of luck involved. And it happened tonight.
Yeah. There was probably, 3, 4, 5 of those turnovers right there in the lane where they're trying to drive and then making a terrible pass into traffic where those passing lanes were clogged, and they're still doing it. And maybe you end up with 6, 7 turnovers instead of 11 in this game if you don't make those and take the shot instead. But I remember one specifically by Day, but it's just, I don't know. This is who they are at this point. But tonight you ended up 5 of 8 from layup, which that's high percentage for them, and 7 of 7 dunks, including the in and out and in dunk by Mustafa Cham that bounced around. And the commentators were saying that maybe should have been offensive pass interference, or not pass interference, but sorry, my mind's on the Super Bowl goaltending. But again, just the lucky shots fell today. So you can't be upset with as bad of what's felt like bad luck this season for this team to see lucky shots fall finally.
Yeah, it was good to see Day getting double-digit scoring for the first time since the Iowa State game.
It's crazy.
I think he's just too passive sometimes, and when he's aggressive, the shots start to fall and he starts to score a lot. But his effort and intensity that he plays with is always up to snuff, at least for me. So to see him get back in double-digit column was nice. Jizzle had a really good night, as you mentioned. Sham had a good night, bounce-back night. And then I think the McKinley and Kerr thing just continuing to spiral, like that's interesting to me, just how bad of injury luck this team has, that you can have that heartbreaker and then find out at practice that neither Kerr nor McKinley were going to be good enough to play in terms of their health status. Like they were available, but McKinley was getting tons of treatment before the game, and Kerr was out there in warm-ups. But I'd be curious to see what happens. Do they play Thursday? Is this the long week that they get? Or I think that's the 21st to the 28th is when they get like a week break coming up.
They play their next game on, let's see. Looks like Kansas State on Wednesday at 9, late tip.
Okay, yeah, that's in Manhattan, right? Yeah, because
it is
Sunday at noon.
And Jerome Tang is a mess of a man right now, but
that's good. Whatever. Somehow, some way, we're going to get a very interesting press conference after that game. Like either coach,
probably right. One of them is going to be a loose cannon.
Yeah. So the law of averages says that they're probably going to be really bad offensively against Kansas State, but maybe they can just go with this free-flowing attitude and, you have absolutely nothing to lose. Just go out there and play. Right. Maybe they can make a few shots and play like they did today, but, they played a bad Kansas State team early in the Big 12 slate last year and ended up losing, so you never know what can happen.
Yeah. I don't know that I have too much else on this one. I mean, you win by 20. You're up 12 at half. You win by 20 against what's been a really good UCF team this season. only 5 losses prior to this. We give them their 6th. It just looked like UCF just looked like a team that wasn't ready to play. The body language, especially by Kugel, was something to be concerned with if you're a UCF fan. I don't know what was going on with UCF today, but they just never had it from jump.
Maybe they've got like a group parlay on the Super Bowl, and they're really all just excited about that. Who knows?
Who knows? Let's get started with the player-by-player, though, and get out of here on your Super Bowl Sunday. Baba Miller leading all Bearcats with 17 points, 5 of 7 from the field, 1 of 2 from 3. That's what, his 4th of the season now, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe 5th. I don't know if they've updated the season totals yet. 4th or 5th. That's crazy. Absolutely crazy. 6 of 8 from the line, 1 offensive, 9 defensive, giving him 10 rebounds, good enough for a double-double. 5 assists, 3 fouls, including the tech that just flexing and silly foul. 2 turnovers, 33 minutes played, plus 19 for Baba Miller.
Yeah, it's he's just really good at the end of the day. Like as bad as the season has gone and as bad as the fans will feel after it, you're going to look back on this year and you're going to remember 2025, 2026 as the year of Baba Miller in Cincinnati.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Because he's gonna get drafted, and I would really like to see what the NBA does with him and wherever he goes, because he has such a good skill set, and I think just the value he brings to a team offensively and defensively in terms of how he rebounds. Because I've said this before, I was just expecting him to be like a kind of, I don't want to say I was expecting him to be soft, but kind of just that the guy with the offensive prowess, the big that doesn't play a ton of great defense. It's not like he's trying to block a bunch of shots or really throw some elbows down low to get some rebounds and get position, but that's what he's been. It was nice to see him. You said double-double? I didn't even see that.
Yeah, 17-10.
17-10, yeah. So I know the debate's been had, and I think that he's continuing to make the case to be the best player at UC under Wes Miller in his 5 years. Definitely the most talented, in my opinion. And, yeah, he had a great game.
He did. Yeah, he just continues to put on a show. The alley-oops were fantastic. He does love to dunk him a ball, and finally getting another 3 to fall, just kind of icing on the cake for him today. And a double-double machine that we've come to expect out of him almost. Keep it moving, though. 15 points out of Mustafa Cham, 7 of 13 from the field, 0 for 2 from 3, 1 of 3 from the line, 1 offensive, 6 defensive, giving him 7 rebounds. There you go, big guy. 1 assist, 2 fouls, 1 turnover, 1 block, 1 steal, 31 minutes played, plus 26, and a pleasant surprise to see him back in the lineup again.
Yeah, I kind of wasn't expecting him to play, given how Wes talked about it after Thursday. He kind of said that he ruled himself out and said that he couldn't play. So maybe it was just a thing where he was making a business decision, but to see him go out there and compete, especially against his old team, there's probably a little bit of juice there. He kind of denied that after the game, but like he probably wanted to beat UCF and not get swept by him after everything. So I think his kind of presence is just such a big influence. And if they didn't have him when that run happened to get to 6, maybe it goes differently. But he's just someone that coaches have to keep an eye on. And I liked how active he was down low. Like you mentioned, the 7 rebounds. And I've heard you say this so often, and I completely agree that he needs to be like the best rebounder on the floor because he's the biggest guy. Like in a way, it isn't that easy to just say, oh, this means this. But in a way, like if you're 7'2" and you're playing with a ton of effort around the paint, you're going to get rebounds. And you just haven't seen that from him. And at times it seems like he's kind of afraid to get hit. Like his foul numbers aren't that high. Like you almost want him to be fouling more defensively. So yeah, to see him bounce back and put that together is good, and maybe he can carry it because they're going to need it at Kansas State.
Yeah, he had the little baby hook working for him today. He had a little bit of a couple bunnies fall. Gotta love that. There was one point where I was so frustrated with him, where Bull is just left alone underneath the hoop to get a
Yeah,
rebound,
I
and
saw
no
that.
one is near him.
No one.
And I checked at that point in time, Baba Miller was not on the floor, which I wonder if that's just one that he just hopes that Baba goes and gets. Maybe he just forgot Baba wasn't on the floor, but that's one that that's one that you have to be there. Like, there's no reason as a center that you're not anywhere near the one guy hanging around down low for a rebound. But that was the
Yeah.
only time that I really felt that the effort wasn't there today.
Moo rebounding like he is probably the biggest help for Baba rebounding like he is this entire season. Because like, it should almost be the other way around, that Moo should be getting more rebounds than Baba. And I do remember that play because you just hear a collective groan throughout the entire arena, and everyone just looked at each other like, am I the only one that saw that?
It's crazy.
Yeah.
And the commentators kind of were like, there's no reason that he's like blending in. He's got a black jersey on. Everybody else has white on. He's got tall hair. And I mean, there's no reason that he should just be hanging out without anybody around him, not a single white jersey trying to box him or anything.
And crazy. Chad saw this on the boards, and he showed me during the game, but someone had written that Dan Horde on the radio broadcast said he knows like multiple languages, but he doesn't know how to say "give me the ball" in any of them.
So, like, that's funny. That's funny.
The mindset just kind of isn't there to take over a game on either side of the ball. He's still 18, so maybe that's something he can develop.
Well, I thought tonight he was good. He was really good for a game that he's coming back from injury. So, Jizzle James also with 15 points, 5 of 10 from the field, 3 of 5 from 3, 2 for 2 from the line, 1 offensive, 3 defensive, giving him 4 rebounds, 3 assists, a foul, a turnover, 33 minutes played, plus 21. But I thought Jizzle had an outstanding game.
Yeah, double digits. Let me pull up. I can't remember. Did he have double digits against West Virginia? Yeah, back-to-back games in double digits. First time he'd done that since Lipscomb and Clemson in December. So good for him to kind of string that together. And 3 of the last 4. I think 3 for 5 from 3, 5 for 10 from the field. I mean, if he's so aggressive that if he can have a good day, like, you're almost thinking that they're gonna win. And that's why the West Virginia game is so much more disappointing, because he went 7 for 16 from the field. So he's a great facilitator, and I think he's that, as we mentioned, that 3 when they were leading by 8 after UCF cut it. I think that was one of the biggest plays of the game, because if he misses that and they go down and get a bucket, it's a completely different game, and you can kind of swing the momentum the other direction.
Yeah, he seemed a little picky with his shots today. Didn't see so much of the falling twos. He took a fair amount of twos, but I don't understand why they're blowing the horns here after the game is over. That's strange. But especially from 3, I thought his threes were just well placed. I enjoyed his shot selection today, and it paid off. 15, good day. Jalen Celestine, 14 points, 5 of 6 from the field, 3 for 3 from 3, made his only free throw, 2 offensive, 1 defensive, giving him 3 rebounds total, 2 assists, a foul, 1 steal, 31 minutes played, plus 30. My goodness.
You could tell early he was active, especially like on the offensive boards. I think he had 3 offensive rebounds in the first half, or either 3 deflections on offensive rebounds, maybe.
Yeah, he only 2 total for the game. So,
gotcha. He Chad talks about it a lot, how you kind of just know with him like what he's going to be offensively. Wes brought it up after the West Virginia game that Celestine's shot looked flat, and it's kind of like a telltale sign of him being fatigued, like he's not getting his legs into it. You didn't see that today, and like Today was one of the more that's in kind of games for him whenever he would get it, because he would shoot it with confidence. He would shoot it in the flow of the possession, and it worked a lot. And he made some big ones, and especially that and one after Jizzle's 3 that pushed it to a 14-point lead was also huge.
Interesting seeing him getting as many minutes as he's been getting, even with Buck Harris back, I would assume, all the way healthy from the flu that he had. Replacing him in the lineup has been, I think, a good thing. We haven't seen so much erratic offense with Celestine in there as we do with Buck Harris in. And I think that it's actually made Buck Harris a bit more selective with his offense as well, which all of those things are net positives. Of course, it doesn't hurt when you only miss one shot the entire day if you're Jalen Celestine. So, yeah, good to see him playing in that 3 spot and just having a day. It was a really good day for Jalen Celestine.
Wes actually mentioned after the game, he said it was good to see him look like an actual small forward because it makes the lineup look like a true Big 12 team. So I don't exactly know what that means. I'm not a basketball purist to that point, but I think it's just like
size. I think it's just the size and the fact that you got a guy who can be effective from 3 as opposed to, I mean, Buck Harris, call it what you want, but he's a defensive specialist. That's what he is. He's not a well-rounded player like Celestine. I thought Celestine's defense was pretty good today. Shows in his plus minus. And he wasn't a liability anywhere, not offensively, not defensively, where when you have Buck Harris out there, you know what you're going to get offensively. It's going to be,
hey, he made it.
It's going to be hold your breath and see. I mean, that's pretty much what it is.
Yeah, I guess it's just like you're not expecting him to make or score 30, but those few threes, it's just a massive help, especially in a game like this.
Sure. And lastly, of your starters, again, all of them in double digits. Day with 11, 4 of 7 from the field, 2 of 3 from 3, 1 of 2 from the line. That's a little off for him. 5 rebounds, all defensive, 4 assists, 2 fouls, 3 turnovers, 25 minutes played, plus 14.
Who was this you're talking about? I was doing something. Sorry. Day. Yeah, I mean, we touched on it. Good to see him get back in double digits. He had, like Keyshawn, the kind of play where he went up to shoot and the ball came flying out of his hands straight up in the air.
Yeah. Like
I don't know how that
feet
happened.
in the air. I don't either.
Like I turned to chat and I'm like, this team does so many things that no other team in the country does.
It's crazy.
Twice
in a game.
And you're just not ready for it, and it borderline hits you in the stomach and then falls on the ground, and like it's like when your controller lags in 2K.
That's a funny comp. I just want to see Day a little bit more aggressive. I'm okay that he got 11, but I think he should be getting 13, 15, 17 more regularly than 11. This is supposed to be the de facto leader on your team, and I feel like the longer the Big 12 slate has gone on, the less we've seen of that. And I don't know how much of that at this point is confidence, how much of that is in his head, because he's had some bad nights shooting. Tonight was not one of those nights. I thought it was a pretty good night shooting. The rebounds certainly contributed to tonight's win, but it's just 25 minutes. I think you're seeing it in the minute share there with Keyshawn Tillery getting as much run as he's getting.
Here's the issue with Day. Here's the issue with Day. Sorry, I just saw a crazy stat.
Got your hands flying around. I don't know what you're doing over there.
I just saw a crazy stat. I'm looking at Day's stats this year on ESPN. What do you think he's shooting from the free throw line this year?
92.
91. 91% from the free throw line. How many free throws do you think he has attempted in the entire Big 12 slate?
Just Big 12?
Just Big 12.
30.
13.
Oh my God.
He's taking
13
free throws in the entire Big 12 schedule, and he's your best free throw shooter.
We've talked about this though, Keegan. I mean, I don't know how much you've been tuning in when Chad and I have talked about it. He's so far behind the 3-point line when he gets the ball because he loves to shoot it back there that when he takes his first step, even if he does want to actually drive, he still has to go 2 or 3 steps just to get to the arc before he's even remotely near going to the paint. And how much time is that allowing your defense to take a step, maybe half a step back, and set up accordingly? You've given him that room because you're not going all the way out to defend him at the logo. So you've given him that room, and he's got to take several steps before he's even making a move. I don't know why he thinks it's a great idea to set up out all the way out there. You don't have to do that at this level. Sure, maybe you're doing it for NBA prowess, but sir, you are not an NBA anything.
Yeah.
So I don't know what we're doing.
Me, Chad, and Terry Nelson were sitting eating before the game. And you're kind of to a point where we were talking about this. You have to have a guy that forces it.
Yeah.
And scores. Like, you have to have a guy to give the ball to that he can just attack the rim and score and get to their free throw line. Like, Kingston Fleming's had 19 free throws in 2 games like 2 weeks ago. And he's taken 30 in the last 5. And you wonder, like, how he scored 42 in that game against Texas Tech, I think it was.
Free throws.
He took 10 free throws. So at some point, have your bad shot be one at the rim where you try to get fouled, not be a step back 3 or a Sincere Harris 3 because you pass it away because you want
or an 18-footer 2.
Yes, like you think about when this team was great, and Chad talks about this all the time. You had SK go to the rim, get fouled. Jacob Evans, go to the rim, get fouled. Jaron Cumberland was probably one of the best drivers that this team's seen in like 20 years.
Troy, all of
Troy, those guys. So I don't see how that isn't a bigger part of the game. And if there's a guy on this team who does that, it's Baba. Like, if there's a guy in this team who actually tries to get to the rim and get fouled, it's your 6'10" forward. 6'11" forward, and not one of your guards. And then the other one would be Sincere, and he just can't make layups. I don't know what it is.
I mean, you do. We've all seen it. But yeah, I don't know. It's incredibly frustrating with data. 30 free throws for Kingston Flemings, and Day-Day's got 13.
91%.
Through 11 games in Big 12 play.
Like, that's
just over 1 free throw a game. That's crazy. Absolutely
that's a layup
crazy
strategy. That should be, he should be taking at minimum like 6 or 7 free throws a game.
It's the opposite of It's the exact opposite of what Arizona does. Arizona will attack at the rim, and this team does not do that.
I would like to find all of the guards who are shooting over 85% from the line and see where Day-Day ranks in terms of volume, because it's probably near the bottom of the country.
It's frustrating.
Yeah.
It's really frustrating. Buck Harris, 7 points, 3 of 5 from the field. He made a 3-pointer, his only 3-pointer of the day. 2 offensive, 2 defensive, giving him 4 rebounds, 1 foul, 1 turnover, 16 minutes played, -7.
Yeah. -7.
That was the worst on the team today.
Yeah, he's Buck Wild, all right. And that's his namesake. So, I mean, he had the 3. His stat line looks a lot different if he doesn't have that 3.
He had a long 2 as well.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, you're asking him to play defense and not turn it over. And, like, recently he's been struggling with turnovers, but only had 1 today. So, yeah, he was definitely involved in shutting down Themis Folks. Because if you're going to put a guy on him, it's going to be Sincere Day-Day. So credit to him for that, because that was a huge part of them being able to win this game.
Yeah. I don't have much else to say on Buck that we didn't say when we talked about Jalen, so we'll keep it moving. 6 points for Halvin Zella. 2 for 2 from the field, 2 for 2 from the line. He had no rebounds, which is a little crazy for 9 minutes played. But 1 foul, 1 turnover, 9 minutes, -6 in the plus minus.
Yeah, there was a play. I can't remember who threw him the lob, but he was very clearly not ready for it. And I yelled, and it made Chad laugh. It was like, hey, they don't do alley-oops in France. So how about we just don't try that with Albi?
I don't know what the French translation for alley-oop would be.
So I don't know. He's still very raw. Like you can see it. Like the coordinate. He looks like Aziz at sometimes. He just doesn't have the defensive presence that Aziz has. So like it just feels like they're trying to do stuff with him that he can't really do. And then like if Wes heard that, he'd be like, "What am I supposed to do then?" Like I'm kind of down to my last options here. So yeah. I mean, at some point you have to just throw him out there and see what happens. And he's played decently, and like in terms of the minutes that he's been given to give Mustafa some rest. So credit to him. There's just a lot of raw still left in his game coming over from France.
Well, with McKinley down too, it was Mustafa and Halvin Zella running the 5. They had all 40 minutes between the two of them. There was no Baba Miller sliding out to the 5 to give anybody any rest there or to run a small lineup of sorts. 6 points, not bad for Zella there. And he just had the 1 turnover where he dribbled too high. And it's almost clockwork where you get 1 or 2 of those a game at this point. He's just got to go up stronger, quit trying to dribble. That is not in your bag, sir. But I thought offensively he actually looked smooth with the shots that he did put up today. So,
yeah, absolutely. You're talking about Jordy, right?
But still talking about Zella.
Still talking about Zella? Oh, okay.
Finishing that up.
Yeah, I mean, it's the lack of coordination and the different basketball moves that Wes has talked about with some guys. So I'd be interested to see what the rest of his career looks like after this year and how he can continue to come around. But I feel like it's just going to be a presence down there, like foul when you have to foul, and just try to make whatever impact you can.
Yep. All right, Keyshawn Tillery, 4 points, 1 of 4 from the field, 0 for 1 from 3, 2 of 3 from the free throw line. That's a kid who's not afraid to drive, by the way. 1 rebound, it was defensive, 3 assists, 2 fouls, 1 turnover, 1 block, 1 steal, 17 minutes played, +7.
Yeah, he's been very, very fun to watch. And I completely agree with Wes when he says that he's going to be really good for the rest of his career.
Went so far as to say elite.
I don't know if elite would be in my vocabulary about it, but
not yet.
I think, and I've said this on the radio, his defensive prowess has kind of impressed me, because when I talked to his high school coach after he committed, one of the bigger things he said was he's going to have to work on defense. Like he can facilitate, he can shoot, he can make plays with the ball in his hands, but he's going to have to work on that. And he's competed. And a lot of it is just effort and putting yourself near the ball and trying to make plays. Did he have a block today? I was looking at my computer. Yes. Yeah, like he had that block on the other end, and then they came down, and I know they didn't score after that. But I just, there was a part of me, and I said this to Chad, I was like, I just want to see him take over. Just see what you can do. Like, drive to the hoop, try to get fouled, go to the line, shoot some threes, like try to create some momentum for yourself. But I think he's a guy that makes winning plays. Like it's that Justin Jennifer kind of guy that he's not going to blow you up at all, but he's going to put himself in a position to make impactful plays. You're starting to see that. And I'm hoping that he can start to get more run, maybe eclipse 20 minutes a game, and see what can happen.
See, I compared him to Justin Jennifer, and Chad shut that down immediately. He did not like that comparison.
It's basically just size. Like, I'm not going into every facet of their game and trying to compare them. So
I feel you. And lastly, Jordy Rodriguez, 3 points, 1 of 2 from the field. He hit his only 3. He had 1 rebound, defensive, 4 minutes played, -4. I thought those 4 minutes were impactful, though. I thought while he was out there, I was not upset like I was in the last game he played, where he had a first great segment and a second not so great segment.
At the very least, he looks confident. Like, it doesn't look like he's out there pressing or trying to do too much. He looks confident on defense. He looks confident trying to make plays. And then that 3 he made was a really, really quick trigger. It was pretty long too. That's his game. Like, he's not going to be a guy who's ball dominant and shutting down another team's best scorer, but you can't be a liability on the defensive end. And I think that's kind of what Wes is saying when he's talking about the transition from playing in Spain to playing high-level D1 basketball. So he's got some adjusting to do, and he's technically a true freshman. He's not 18, so that's why people kind of view him as like a junior or senior, but he's still got a lot of eligibility left. So his growth will be very interesting to watch. And I think I've talked about this, like, whoever's coaching next year, if I'm looking at guys who I want to bring back to this team, I think it starts with Keyshawn Tillery, then goes to Tyler McKinley, and then maybe Jordy Rodriguez is in there just because of the effort and intensity that he's shown. And I think he does have a really, really good shooting clip in his bag if something can just click.
For me, it might start with Mustafa Cham, but I digress. But as far as Jordy goes, like I said, I mean, I didn't know before today. Maybe I missed something somewhere. I didn't know that he had a concussion. I don't know that was public knowledge before the press conference. I had not heard that. I don't know if you had heard that behind the scenes or if you knew that publicly before either, but I didn't. I had no idea.
In a normal year, I probably would have, but I might have been told that, and I'm just like, oh, another injury? Okay, and I filed it way in the back of my head. It's like, that's the 14th injury I've heard about this year, so I got them all mixed up with other people.
For those listening and who didn't watch the presser, he did not have a concussion today. He had a concussion several weeks ago and missed some time because of that, as they were trying to move him into the lineups and get things going with him. And now he's working his way back after dealing with that right around Christmas time, I think he said. It was still lingering even right after Christmas break. So I don't know. Other than that, that covers everybody in this 20-point win. Again, just another good game at home where they've played their best without question. But just still more questions than answers with this team.
Yeah. At this point, you're just trying to end on the best note to put yourself in the best position to, 1, get a job, or 2, transfer and make more money. Because if you can, we all see, especially in baseball and football, whoa, they ended the season on a tear. And then, like, I don't know, how much money did Nick Castellanos make after that second half with the Cubs in 2019?
Maybe other teams get to see teams end on a tear, but I have yet to see this Cincinnati football team end a season on a tear. I would love to see that, but that has not been the case here the last couple of years. But good on Wes Miller, and again, coming off the apology tour, his psyche needed that one.
Yeah, sometimes I look down to see his reaction after plays, and there were a few times it looked like he was genuinely having fun, which made me happy to see him do that, because I know I disagree with a lot of what he says, and how he's handled a lot of stuff, but it's good to see a guy have fun, especially when I know he wants it so bad.
Yeah, especially in a game where they did not announce his name, so he would not be booed.
Okay, I want to clear this up. They did, but they did it very quickly and concisely before the player introductions.
Like a
So
commercial where
they changed it and purposefully did it so there wasn't an opportunity to boo. So it's basically the same thing. But they like announced the coaching staff. Oh, the assistant coach is led by head coach Wes Miller. Now for your players. And then they did like the Super Bowl style Sunday Night Football intro.
Side effects may include. In any case, that's going to wrap things up here for us. Thanks to those of you who joined us in the chat. Thanks to those of you who listen after the fact. I hope everybody enjoys your Super Bowl Sunday watching Kobe Bryant hopefully get himself a ring. If not, former Bearcat Lorenzo Metz will have himself a ring. So you got a couple different Bearcats to root for there. But that's going to wrap things up for us. Coming at you from the 92-72 win over UCF at Fifth Third Arena. Thanks to Keegan for joining us right from the arena. And thanks to Galactic Fried Chicken, as always. Thanks to Cincinnati Light for sponsoring the studios. But enjoy yourself a Super Bowl, and we will catch you on Wednesday after the Kansas State game.